Good day, everyone. For today, we will have only a review of the lessons. Please just take this as a refreshment, and this will, I believe, be a big help to your incoming exam next week. For the review, of course, we will go back to our previous lessons, but you need also to be cleared, mga anak, of our objective. Of course, let's go to our highest goal, and that is to perfect the exam. At least, if you did not make it, you still get a higher grade than the rest. Okay, once you consider this objective. So I did not put any objective, but just to perfect the exam. The reason that we will review, have a refreshment for today. So these are our topics in creative writing. As you can see there, I did not include the lesson number 1, which is the introduction to creative writing. So let's go. Some of the information that we've discussed before. We will not put a lot of details. Okay. The first lesson is imagery. Second lesson is imagery. Third is diction. Fourth, fifth, the figures of speech. And sixth one, the tanaga and haiku. And then seventh is forms of writing. First, let's go to the second lesson, the imagery. So we have the 5 types of imagery: the visual imagery, auditory imagery, gustatory imagery, tactile, and the olfactory imagery. So you have there the description, the sense of sight, hearing, taste, touch, smell. Okay, please remember all of these. First is the visual imagery, which is the sense of sight. So in this, example, you have there, Giger's eyes turned next to the window and the overcast sky. So very obvious, okay? It falls to the sense of sight, which is the visual imagery. Next one, okay, the auditory imagery, the sense of hearing. So here in the sentence, it was a low, dull, quick sound, such a sound as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. Okay, class? So that is an example of the auditory imagery or the sense of hearing. The next is the gustatory imagery that deals with the sense of taste. So here you have the salty sweet caramel melted on her tongue. Okay. Next is the tactile imagery, that is the sense of touch. So here I have 1, 2, 3 sentences in total. So of course, class, whenever you are analyzing a certain paragraph or group of sentences, then you need to you need to find out those key terms, as I was always saying before. Okay, here is that we have here, he must have felt it seeping down his neck, cold, wet, souping in his shoes. Okay, souping or sopping in his shoes. So don't be confused with the first 2 sentences. Okay, it's like they are there for the introduction. Okay, but okay, as you can see on the last, it refers to the tactile imagery, which is the sense of touch. Okay. Next is, this is the last in the type of imagery, the olfactory imagery. The olfactory imagery is a sense of smell. So here, peach trees breathe their sweetness. Okay, there's something to do with the sense of smell because it breathed their sweetness. And next, let's go to the third lesson, the diction. Diction is a choice of words And so you know that we know already dictation is a choice of words. Please remember. So we have three types. First is childhood, social set, and then the specialized or the professional training. Okay. Next is the, okay, so we had a poll before. I think it was 10 a.m., 9 a. I wasn't able to ask 67 and 8 a. But based on the poll, this is the most difficult lesson that you had in my subject. Okay, because I asked before, what is the difficult lesson for you? So, and this has the most, got the most votes. Okay, or votes rather. Sorry. So here we go. We have here the 10 types of figures of speech: simile, metaphor, irony, hyperbole, personification, metonymy, synecdoche, onomatopoeia, alliteration, and then the pun. So let's have a refreshment class. When you say metaphor, metaphor is a comparison, okay, between unlike things to different objects. Same with the simile, diba? However, the difference is simile has the like and as, then the metaphor doesn't have. So here is my vigor is a new minted penny. So in simile, it can be my vigor is like a new minted penny. Okay, so that's the difference. Same comparison, but the simile is explicit, how while the metaphor is implicit. Next one is the irony. Irony is a contrast between expectation and then the reality. So it rained on my best friend's wedding. So that's a contrast. Next is hyperbole. So hyperbole is an exaggerated statement, class. And here my example is, and I grow mad with gazing at your blend colors. Okay. Next is the personification. Personification is giving a human attributes to non-human. So here we have the floorboards have a sour grit. Okay, so there you go. Okay, the breed here is a human attribute. The floorboards is non-human. So giving floorboards, which is non-human, a human attribute. Next, metonymy. Metonymy is a change of name or name, giving another name, okay, to something. Like here, the suits were at a meeting. So instead of saying the businessman, which actually represented by the word suits, instead of using the businessman, then we have here the word suits. Okay, the suits were at a meeting. Next is the synecdoche. Okay, so this one is using using a part of something to name that something. Okay, so like here, many hands will make the work light. So hands here refer to the people. Okay, actually the manpower. I think it's the same example before the word hands. Next is the onomatopoeia. So this is a word association. So which word here? The word is the ooze. Okay, it gathers to a greatness like the ooze of oil. Next, the alliteration. The alliteration, that is the occurrence of the sound at the beginning. Like here, she sells, the sound or the letter. She sells seashells by the seashore. So there always you have the she sells seashells, and then the seashore. Next is the pond. So this one, we have here the picture. Would you like to view these photos? So pond is used for numerous effects. Pond is a play word. Next, we have this two forms, two types of forms, the tanaga and the haiku, which is in lesson number 6. So the things that you need to remember here are the descriptions on the screen. Haiku has 3 lines, 575 syllables. Then the tanaga has 4 lines, 7777 syllables. So let's go to the forms of writing. So we've discussed this. I've discussed this with you last week. So we have 4: the narrative writing, descriptive writing, persuasive writing, expository writing. And then under expository writing is the technical writing. Okay. So as I've said before, although I gave already the description with this to the narrative and the descriptive, but don't worry because there are only two forms basically, two types that will appear in your examination. The first is not the first, but these three. I mean the two forms because under technical writing is under expository writing. So you have persuasive writing, expository writing. Then under it, as I've said, the technical writing. So, persuasive writing is convincing. Expository is giving an information facts, okay? Explain declaration, statement of facts. And statements itself. Then, okay, here I have a persuasive writing example. So the death penalty is a good deterrent for criminals. Beyond that, it is fair because the Bible supports an eye for an eye. We need to keep the death penalty on the books. So basically, this is an opinion convincing you that we need to keep the death penalty on the books. Okay, the next is, okay, here we have an expository writing. A Filipino oncology nurse in the United States died from injuries. Actually, I got this from the news today, and I'm not sure if it's today or yesterday. So expository writing, this is an example of expository writing. So that's it. I did not finish the sentence, so let me read it. A Filipino oncology nurse in the United States died from injuries sustained after a mugger slumped into her and knocked her down in Times Square, New York. So, and then, oh, sorry. Let's go back. So, these are all. And then, the technical writing. The technical writing is a writing that based on job or the professional examples, the manuals. Okay, you have there the specific instruction, targeting a specific audience. I'm sorry, I forgot to put the last what they call this, the last example for the technical writing. I just remember the manual on the iPhone, and then it gives you a direct an instruction, okay, on how to do it. Okay, those things are under the technical writing. So class, let me check muna. Time so to okay, madaling araw kasi. Anyway, so please study. I hope you watched this all the video lessons. Especially this last part, okay? This is very special because some of the examples will appear in your examination, okay? So good luck and please study well, study smart. So I will still meet you. So just watch this video lesson first. If you have any other question, then don't hesitate to throw a question, okay? If I can answer that, then I will answer immediately or on the spot. If I cannot, then I will tell to you directly, okay? So, thank you for listening and have a great day ahead and goodbye.